the country's top military leadership may have potentially committed war crimes in the Caribbean. That's according to the commander who briefed lawmakers on Capitol Hill. But one Mid-South senator is backing the Trump administration's commands. Here is video of U.S. military airstrikes of an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean that initially killed 9 and left 2 survivors floating in the water hanging on to debris. Well, a second strike killing those 2 survivors is now in question over whether military personnel acted lawfully. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton says there were four strikes total and all were justified.
I didn't see anything disturbing about it. The first strike, the second strike, and the third and the fourth strike on September 2nd were entirely lawful and needful, and they were exactly what we'd expect our military commanders to do.
So this is getting a lot of back and forth because particularly Democrats don't seem to follow that same stance as Senator Cotton, who also leads the Senate Intelligence Committee. So I'm going to open it up here to you, Susan. You know, what do you think of Tom Cotton's stance?
Well, sometimes when I listen to Tom Cotton, I think he's lost his cotton-picking mind. And, you know,
took a lot of work.
I thought about that all day long.
That's worse than me calling him Uncle Tom.
Whoa.
He's an uncle, though. Yeah.
No, I think that he drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago. He follows Donald Trump in lockstep.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of like Lindsey Graham over. They both. I mean, there's nothing that Trump can do that is wrong, and I think that if you listen to all of the talking heads who are experts on the law about this, there is a real question whether this is legal, and it's a real question whether they have followed the real law according to the military rules of war. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's a knee-jerk reaction. He always has one to send in the troops, but I just want to say when Tom Cotton speaks, it makes me realize that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is more of a moderate politician in Arkansas,
wow.
And that's really scary.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave it to one of you two to
very
respond.
briefly here. Tom Cotton is defending the indefensible here, and at least we still have a local leader in the Senate in Roger Wicker in Mississippi, who is saying we're going to get to the bottom of this. Mm-hmm. And I hope he still is saying that, because Tom Cotton, as Susan says, he's drank the Kool-Aid.
Okay. All right, I want to switch our attention a little bit to one bonus topic since we covered it before, and I'd like to see it all the way through. So the Shelby County District Attorney's Office is not pursuing criminal charges against General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer.
Because I'm the one getting threatened. I'm the one that's saying they're going to kill in the streets.
This was back in October. Video surfaced of a heated exchange between Sawyer and Shelby County Sheriff's deputies in front of the courthouse in downtown Memphis. It appeared deputies were keeping Sawyer's armed personal security guard from entering the courthouse, which resulted in Sawyer cursing at the deputies while explaining that she received death threats. Now, District Attorney Steve Mulroy's statement on the matter says, at the request of my office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation opened an investigation into Clerk Sawyer's role in this matter, viewed video, and interviewed relevant witnesses. The results of these were shared with and reviewed by my office. There is simply no evidence that Clerk Sawyer solicited, aided, or directed her security guard to bypass courthouse security. Her interaction with sheriff deputies did not appear to violate any state law. As a result, she will face no criminal charges in this matter. I'll let Reverend Whalum open this one up. Just your reaction to that.
It's unfortunate, I think, that we conflated 2 issues. One was the reprehensible behavior of Clerk Sawyer on that day. I don't want my daughter or granddaughter using that kind of language. I'm embarrassed by it. I don't want them to see it. The other, and we try to conflate that with the whole issue of trying to get a weapon inside the courthouse. I never thought she would have faced criminal charges anyway. I thought it was ridiculous to even bring it in that way. It's just unfortunate to me.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And Susan, I have to let you respond to this, given that Tammy Sawyer has come up many times in our shows. So yes, your reaction to DA Mulroy's decision.
Well, I totally agree with Reverend Whalum that there's no way that this is possibly rises to the point of being having criminal charges. Cursing at a sheriff's deputy who is employed to protect you isn't criminal in nature. It may be foolish, and juvenile, but it's not criminal. And maybe let's hope that she's learned a lesson, but this seems to be her pattern of behavior anyway.
Otis?
Yeah, I agree with both my colleagues here. There's nothing criminal about this. And Brent Taylor, and I hate to bring up his name all the time, but he was the one who was driving this, and he curses more than anybody else, especially on social media. So how come he's not being charged with anything? Let's look at the real crimes here. Glenn Cassida was convicted of a crime. He was a criminal, and he got pardoned, and we never heard a peep out of any of the Republicans. So yes, it was juvenile for her to do this, but it was definitely nothing criminal about it.
This reminds me, if you don't mind me jumping back to the previous question about Tom Cotton. Why hasn't Tom Cotton said anything about President Trump pardoning? If he's okay with blowing purported drug dealers out of the water, why hasn't he said anything about Trump's pardon of the former president of Honduras, who was convicted of participating in smuggling drugs into this country? That is just, you know, I think that Cotton is talking out of two sides of his mouth, and it doesn't make me respect him at all.
Certainly a good point there, very valid. All right, well, that brings us to time, as this panel always does. But thank you all so much for being here, and thank you all for watching this week. We hope you'll join us next week for ABC24 This Week.